Golly, y'all, if you had to see everything that I have to go through to post, my golly, big jolly. That's all I got to say about that.
Speaking.
I know that there's a lot in reference to me going live and doing this and doing that. I know. I do have a lot of wisdom nuggets. I do have a lot to say. That is in the future. You need not worry. You need not worry, those little head of yours. I know I got a lot of eyes on me. I know that. I do. And I move and operate the way that I do. I'm well aware that I have a lot of eyes on me. Am I a fan of it? No, it's not my favorite. It's not my favorite. I don't like to be the center of attention. I want nothing to do with it. I want nothing to do with clout, fame, money. Like I told my coworker yesterday, I was like, honestly, money gives me the heebie-jeebies. It really does. At this point in the venture, seeing everything that's conspiring around all of us in reference to money, it makes me sick to my stomach. It really does. So it's like, ugh, and so I move and operate the way that I do that best fits me. That best fits me in my life, in my peace, my peace is very important to me. And so I do things the way that I like to do things. I operate in the way that I like to operate. And, I am totally open to dialogue, to going on platforms, to having Q&As, to talking to people. But again, nobody wants to do that. And so until I get to that place in my venture, I'm going to do it in the way that I want to, the way that I want to. I'm not out here chasing nothing, and I'm not out here to prove nothing. I'm just out here to pour into the collective and pour into humanity what it truly deserves, what it needs to truly elevate. I sent a message to my brother last night, and I know it touched him. So often enough, we get pulled in these ventures of our life, whether that's, I feel like I need to do this for a living. I feel like I need to do this for a living. I feel like I need to do this schooling for a living. Whether that's nursing, business, marketing, strategic planning, property management, real estate. My jets are flying tonight. Heyo. And so we get pulled into these industries. Like you graduate high school and you have to do these things. You have to go to these schools to become someone. All right. So cool. Fine. Perfect. You go, you do all those things. You check all those boxes, right? And then you go into said industry, and then you adopt the conformity and the culture of the industry. And a lot of the times you have all these industries that run alongside business, right? And they're all out for profit. They're all out for gain. Everybody wants to make money. That's what we've adopted here. And so, for example, said nurse goes into nursing to save people, to help people. Then they go into nursing. They go into a hospital, local doctor's office, whatever. But then you adopt the conformity of, treating people in different ways based off their insurance, based off their coverage. And then you lose the passion in whatever it is you're going into. For example, me, I walked into property management. I didn't walk into it to take over the company, nor take it to a multi-million-dollar company, which is what I did. And quote me if I'm wrong. Please do. I'm here for it. Give me a buzz on the phone. I'd love to have a convo face-to-face, bro. You want to be a coward, be a coward. But I'm calling shots. Shots. And so I went into the industry, but I adopted the industry and the emotions of what reside in it. If you're in property management, you adopt white lies, you adopt damage control, and you adopt creative, manipulative verbiage to tell them what they want to hear. But in the back, you know you're going to do like 50% of that because you're going to have to do XYZ and XYZ and XYZ and XYZ. And so that's just how it operates. That's the big man's always got to get their cut. The middleman's got to get their cut. And then you got somewhere down here on the bottom of the totem pole where you got the little man, which is me, right? And the residents, the tenants, and, you know, the patients for nurses and XYZ. And it's adopted in all industries right now. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I guarantee you a lot of people will probably agree with this. I guarantee you they will. Because we live in a world now where they are so obsessed with profit and they're obsessed with their own tunnel vision, their own pockets, that we've lost sight of humility. We've lost sight of mankind. We've lost sight of passion. We've lost sight of compassion. We've lost sight of empathy. We have lost sight of grace. Grace. For example, the shutdown. And let me explain to you what the shutdown really is, because this is exactly what it is. The shutdown isn't just about money. It's absolutely not. It's about control, leverage, and political messaging. That's all it's about. Okay? Physical conservatives wanted to force structural cuts. Clearly. Moderates want to avoid chaos and protect programs. And both parties wanted to negotiate power for the full year budget. That's all this shutdown is about in the grand scheme of things. Is because both parties want to control the leverage of the budgeting. They can't seem to meet eye to eye. And so because they can't seem to meet eye to eye, who is affected? The people. Making America great again. Right? And so that's what we're living through right now. As we have a Great Gatsby event. It's no shirt off their back. They still get to eat. That's no skin off their back. It's not bothering them. They have probably $300-$500 pillowcases that they're laying their heads on. They ain't worried about it. They're golden. They're good. I mean, and that's just truth. I hate to say it, but that's facts. And so often enough, and again, I guarantee you, 99% of these people that walk into the political arena, they walk into the political arena truly wanting to make America great again, truly wanting to see humanity and mankind grow for the greater good. But then they lose sight. They lose sight because they become conformed. They start dancing with those. They make decisions and choices, and then they can be blackmailed. And then they can be coerced. And then it's like boom, 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 boom. And so that's what we're living through. And so you just have to recognize that because that is the facts. And if it isn't the facts, tell me it's not. Tell me it's not. You know? But they won't. They won't. You know, everything is so often enough done in the dark. And it's done in the back. With innuendos and manipulative tendencies. And manipulative words. And manipulative financing. My gosh. You know? It just gets old. It really does. And so that's why I move and operate the way that I do, because right now I carry passion for what it is I'm doing, and I don't want to lose sight of that. I don't want to lose sight of the fact that I carry the passion the way that I do, because I'm not worried about the stats. I'm not worried about the monetization. I'm not worried about the money. I'm not worried about all this stuff. None of that means nothing to me. And so I don't want to adopt over to that. If people want me to go live stream, well, then bring me on to your programs. If you want to talk to me, have me on. You know, until that day comes, I'm going to do it the way that I do it. And I'm going to operate the way that I operate. Period. And so I hope this video resonated, but you have nothing to prove. What you do for a living is between you and God. And if you're a bartender, if you're this, if you're that, but you're out here being good to people and treating people right, baby, that's all God's looking at. He don't care what your title is. He does not care. That I can assure you. That I can assure you. I take that one to the bank.